Hi, my name's Tim. In this AMX Tech Bytes video, we're going to learn how to set up devices in the MUSE controllers. Let's begin by opening up a browser and navigating to the IP address of my MUSE controller. I'll type in my username and password and then log in. The pop-up on the screen will show you a brief login history to see if there's been any unsuccessful login attempts. Hit Accept. If you haven't already, please watch our MUSE hardware overview video. That provides an in-depth tutorial on these web pages. I'm now going to show you how to add 3 different devices to our system. Let's begin by navigating to the System Devices page. The first thing to look at is the device list. This is similar to the online tree in NetLink Studio, and you'll notice a couple of devices already listed. The first device is labeled iDevice, and this is referencing all of the local control ports on my MU2300, such as the RS-232, relays, IR, and I/O ports. LED is an internal device that references all of the LED lights on the front panel of your MUSE controller. These devices cannot be deleted, and they cannot be selected to be loaded into the device editor. So let's add some devices. The first 2 devices I'm going to add are both ICSP devices. You may be asking, why am I going to add 2? ICSP is the communication protocol that AMX has used in its devices for many years, and there are multiple methods of getting these devices connected together. By adding 2 devices, we can demonstrate 2 of the most common connection methods. One helpful tip before we create a new device: browse to the extensions page and make sure the ICSP extension is running. If the status says uninstalled, select it and click Install. In my case, it's already running. Navigate back to the Devices page. We'll begin by adding a Varia touch panel, and this first connection method will demonstrate the controller initiating the connection, and the touch panel device will listen for the connection request. Click on Create a New Device. First, I need to assign an instance ID. This will be the name you wish to give the device. This name should be relevant to what the device is, because this is what will be referenced when developing your code. I'm going to call mine Test Room Varia TP. Next is the driver ID. This is where you assign what type of device you're adding. We'll select the ICSP driver. I'll give this device a name. I'll label mine Varia SL50. I'll then provide a description of the device, and I'll just call it Touch Panel. And finally, I'll tell the MUSE controller how to find this device on the network by inputting the IP address of the Varia touch panel. Mine is set to 192.168.6.162. I'll click on Accept, and I've just added the device to my list. We're not quite done yet. Notice the status of the device is offline, and it appears red in the device list. Now, I'll need to go into the touch panel device settings and configure the touch panel to listen for that connection request. I'll open up a VNC window so you can see my touch panel. I'm going to start by accessing the touch panel setup menu. The default password is 1988, and I'm going to access the AMX G5 control settings. Next, I'll click on Netlinks, which will access the connection settings page. As we already discussed, the connection is being initiated from the MUSE controller, so I'll set the connection mode to Listen. Now, we simply need to set a unique device number. In this case, we'll leave it at 10,001. Click on Test Connection, and you'll see it connected successfully. Now click on Save and Connect, and exit out of all of the menus to get back to the control surface. If we go back to the MUSE web pages and refresh the page, our Varia touch panel is now online. Because we use the Listen Connection method, MUSE is now able to manage this connection. You can edit this device at any time, or even delete the device directly from the device list. Now we're going to add a second ICSP device, except this time the connection is going to be initiated from the device itself and not from the MUSE controller. The device we're going to add is an EXP Rel 8 extender box, and it just so happens this ICSP device does not support listen mode, so we're forced to use a different method. Let's take a look. I'll start by opening up a telnet connection to my EXP box, and I'll type set connection. Notice the only options are TCP URL, UDP URL, NDP, which is Network Discovery Protocol, or Auto. I'm going to choose T for TCP. I'll enter the IP address of my MUSE controller, 192.168.6.164. The port number will remain the same at 1319. Hit Enter. I've not set up ICSP encryption, therefore I'll just enter through the user and password fields. If everything is correct, type Y for yes and hit Enter. If we go back to our devices page and refresh, you'll now notice a new device show up in our list. The AMX-32001 now shows as online. I want to point out, you cannot click on, edit, or even delete this device, because this connection was initiated by the device. Notice the device is formatted with AMX hyphen followed by the device number. It's important to note there is a potential issue leaving the device setup the way it currently is. Device number 32001 is considered a dynamic device, and there is the possibility of this particular device getting assigned a different number, perhaps 32002, should the system reboot and you have multiple devices coming online at the same time. This could become problematic if your code is written to control the device named AMX-32001, and all of a sudden that device no longer exists. Let me show you how to solve this. If I go back to my telnet connection and type set device 6001 enter, I've now changed the device number to a non-dynamic device, and should this box get rebooted, it will always come online as 6001. Refresh the devices page once again, and you'll see AMX 6001 show up as an online device. And you'll also notice the AMX 32001 went offline. The only way to remove the 32001 device is to reboot the MUSE controller. I'll quickly do that to clean up my device list. Let's move on to our third device. This time, we're going to add an H-control device. H-control is Harman's latest communication protocol, and it will be built into all Harman professional devices moving forward. The H-control device we're going to add is one of the Universal Control Extender boxes, the CE Rel 8. Click on Create Device, and I'll use Test Room CE Rel 8 as the instance ID. The driver ID is going to be H-control. I'll name it CE Rel 8, and for a description, I'll call it Relay Extender Box. The H-control port number is 4197. And the IP address of my CE box is 192.168.6.229. Click Accept. The device is now added to my list. I'll give it a second to connect and refresh my page. It's now online. You're now ready to begin programming all these devices you've just set up. Be sure to check out some of our other videos where you'll learn how to add high QNet devices into the MUSE platform, as well as implementing Duet modules. Thanks for watching this AMX Tech Bytes tutorial on setting up devices on the MUSE controllers.